going to sit in front of our portable air conditioner now. Really, really need it. It is so humid. And some of these are hard, y'all. Hard. Oh, where'd my word go? Here it is. All right, so welcome to Tuesdays in July for the Fitness Protection Program, Build and Rebuild programs, both. Two halves of the same whole, but you are still 100% athlete. We've got plank with leg raises. We've got reverse plank, and then we've got high plank arm raises. The key to remember here with the plank, and I get people telling me all the time, oh, this hurt my wrists. And they did hurt my wrists for years too, until I realized the problem wasn't my wrists, it was what I was asking them to do. So we're going to take a minute before we go any further, and we're just going to sit on the ground and press your hands into it. So at this angle, notice I'm leaning forward, so I'm only going to be with the heel of my hand is the only part that's going to be touching the ground. What we really want to do in these positions is think about pressing this knuckle right here, not the fingertip, but the knuckle right before it. Focus on pressing that into the ground, and you're going to distribute the weight a lot more evenly and take almost all of the pressure off of the heels of your hand. It's really an amazing thing. That one little change can make all the difference in the world. But if that still hurts, that's okay. We don't need to hurt yourself. We don't need to break. We're here to build and rebuild. And that means we got to listen to our bodies, which is the most advanced thing we could possibly do. So straighten back up again. I'm going to start with the plank. Really want to make sure that we start in a quadruped position, and this is quadruped. Look at your back. It should be straight. None of this, but that feels really nice. So you can do some cat-cows. Oh, yeah, that's great. Okay, but look at your hands. You should be able to look right in between them. And then slowly rise. And all of the movement here, the loft, it comes from your armpits. So think about tucking them back like this. So tuck, press your fingertips, and then lift. And you should feel that in the upper part of your belly. The other mistake I see people making is they do this without using their glutes. Pretend like you're holding a penny in between your booty. Boom. Lift one leg, and then the other. You don't need to lift that leg very high, and we certainly don't need to curve your back. We need to stay right here. Exhale, moving faster than I should. I'm trying to play beat the clock for the family comes back from the boat because it looks like it's about to rain. Anyway, so that is the plank with the leg raises. Do them in your own time, but we really need to go for 1 working minute, alternating legs, or 30 seconds of lifting and lowering on one side. I find alternating to be not just easier, but my form stays better. Every few seconds, though, I want you to hear me saying to you in your head somewhere, check your booty. Because when you start thinking about your armpits, it's almost instinctual. Your glutes just stop working. So pretend like you got to keep it nice and tight, like someone's about to smack it. And keep that in your head, remembering that every time you think about your armpits, don't do it at the expense of your booty. Okay. Because the final note on this, if you're doing this, if you're like, that's too, I can't do this for one reason or another, and I'm on my knees, that's fine. The same rules apply. You can get a whole lot out of it. I actually think this is a lot harder because you're kind of pushing back and you're isolating these muscles. So funny enough, being on your knees is more work, and you still have to remind your booty to do things. Okay, so there is no easy way out when it comes to planks. So that is plank with the leg raises. Next is the reverse plank. Same principle. We're going to think about, I like to think of it as opening my collarbone, because we're not hyperextending our back. See how my back curved in? We don't want that. We want pressing down on the ground. Same rules apply with that knuckle right in front of your fingertips. And then get a little bit of a lift. A little bit of a lift. Higher is not better. This is totally valid. This is fine because we're extending our neck, opening our chest, keeping our back straight, and using our glutes. And you can do that in 1 inch off the ground. It's actually harder than trying to lift higher, okay? So reset, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, lift. Everything on. And hold. Fun, right? Yay! And then high plank with the arm raises. High plank just means that your feet are going to be on something. Take that plank position. And we're going to work towards getting one hand off the floor without turning your whole body. Shifting weight. Notice here the tendency is to start wearing your shoulders for earrings, and we don't want that. So we want to keep our neck long, looking straight ahead. Resetting frequently. Now, what matters here? It's not moving super quickly. It's not hurting your joints. What we're trying to get out of that is, one, a sense of balance and thinking about that connection between your hand and what happens in your belly, because it's connected. That's why bird dogs are a really big deal. All of this has to do with balance. So when we say arm raises, we're not trying to get the arm higher. All we're trying to do, remove the balance, and you can do that with barely moving the arm in ways that would make you want to fall. So the last thing we want you to do is fall. You can get really hurt. Meet your body where it's at. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. All this stuff is plenty because you're coached and you're loved and because you're here with me, which means we're both winning at life. Yay!